after running a couple of games of D&D with ChatGPT as the DM, I discovered that it is a great tool with a lot of potential, but you need to configure it right because it has some glitches otherwise. So I figured, hey, I'm gonna show you guys how I configured my ChatGPT DM. First of all, it's campaign tone. That's basically kind of what type of game do you want to play. Do you want to have it lighthearted and humorous? Do you want it to be like a normal fantasy Lord of the Rings story? Or do you want it to be dark and gritty? Me personally, I'm an edgelord, so I like it dark and gritty. So I'm just gonna write that. Dark fantasy like First Law, The Witcher, and Game of Thrones. Perfect. That's the first stop. Next up is setting. That's basically where you want the world to take place. You can tell it like, hey, come up with something, or you can be a bit more specific. So I'm gonna say a homebrew world or homebrew fantasy world that you create, where the starting city is loosely based on southern Italy, because why not? During the Renaissance, I don't know how to spell that. Also want magic to be rare, or magic to exist, but it to be rare. So, magic, yeah, that's actually a better way to spell it. Magic exists, but is rare. Only 1 in 2 million possess magical powers. Cool. Next up is story focus. That's basically like, what do you want the story to prioritize? Do you want it to be about war? Do you want it to be about politics? Do you want it to play like a heist story? It's like completely up to you. So in this case, I want it to be a story about politics and war. So politics and war, where the story starts in a city that's outside the main conflict, but it's still like in the air. You notice the tension. The city is outside the main conflict, but tension is still in the air. Nice. Next up is combat difficulty. Basically how hard you want the game to be. Like, moderate. Like, I think when configuring ChatGPT to run a D&D game, you need to leave absolutely nothing to chance. Like, you need to understand that this thing does not know what you want it to do. It cannot read any human cues like a normal DM. So every single aspect, you need to actually tell it. If you think it's important, of course. Next up is roleplay preference. Preference. I don't know how to spell that, to be honest. Heavy roleplaying. I like roleplaying. So that's going to be a major focus. Major focus, might as well write as well. In parentheses. Because I feel that's more correct. And then it's in-game challenges. Like, if you want like something specific to happen instead of just combat and stuff like that. So I want some puzzles and moral dilemmas. So again, anything that you kinda expect to spend a lot of time with that's not combat, it kinda goes in like the in-game challenges bracket. Player expectations. Why can't I spell today? Fuck it. It understands me. Yeah. Like, this is where you kind of have, like, some wishes or, like, something that you want to happen to your character. I already made my character, but I'm gonna write in my character is from a noble family. But he is a nobody. So, make some jokes that no one knows anything about him, but everyone knows and loves his brother. What is his name? August. Yeah, I'm gonna call him August. I'll just love that trope, so I want to add it in. NPCs. Like, I discovered quite early that the biggest problem with ChatGPT when running NPCs is that they're a bit too helpful. Like, it's obvious that it's a chatbot and it's designed to help, so you kind of have to tell it to, like, not do that. So, keep them realistic and human-like. Not everyone wants to help. Some might have selfish goals that does not align with my character. Yeah. Also keep them married. Next up, tone consistency. You know when you play like a D&D game and suddenly there's a session that's just like funny and stuff? Like that's kind of what tone consistency is. So keep it dark for 95% of the game, but add some rays of humor and light. I know my keyboard is really noisy, by the way. Level of detail in description. This is basically how well it will describe shit. This is also something I kind of want to keep detailed because I like it. But if you want it to be moving along a lot quicker, you can just like write simple, or you know what I mean. Cool. Adaptability is also just how well it adapts to your kind of choices. Because of course, like when you talk to an NPC, you can say like, "Hey, aren't you from the family that originally were werewolves?" And it will take what you said there and just run with it. And I like that, but you can also write something like, "Hey, keep it rigid," like, or keep it predetermined. Then it can't possibly say like, "Nah, no, that's another family, that's not us." But it's basically how much input you want personally in the story. And if you're new to D&D, I recommend keep it rigid. If you've played for a while, then I recommend adaptive. Or highly adaptable to player choices, I guess. Adaptive to player choices. Now, finally, it's special requests, which is like the last stop. And here you need to write, don't be afraid to fail me if I make a bad roll. Because that was the other thing I discovered, like it would let you succeed like no matter what. Like if you rolled a 7 on a stealth check, it was like, hey, this actually worked. So you just need to tell it like, hey, I want sometimes to actually fail. And add some combat, but make it rare. Usually I have to escalate to combat. Escalate to combat. Most encounters can be solved diplomatically. There. And finally, here is my character sheet. Because I already made my character sheet in D&D Beyond. So I'm just gonna upload that one. So it got it available. Perfect. Let me know if everything looks good. And there we have it. That's the... Okay, now it fucked up a bit. Yeah, it could not read my entire character sheet at all. But it happens. It happens. Yeah, and then it essentially just tells you bloody everything that you want. Which is essentially what we kinda aim for. So yeah, in this case, looks like you struggled to read my character sheet. Try again. And there it actually is correct. So, besides the name, but fuck that. But yeah, that's how you do it. So if you want to play D&D with ChatGPT, that's essentially what you need to throw into it to make it all, well, work, I guess. See you next time.